All right, here we go again. B&J's Custom. This video here is part 3 of the 89 Caprice. This is kind of just a rough draft of the wiring. Just kind of showing y'all a little bit of what we got going on. This is the wiring from the harness that actually came on the car. I just kind of got it wired up right now. It's kind of just like a rough draft for before. We don't have they got the fans just laying in there. We about to put them on, but kind of right now I got all the wiring done. I got a little bit more wiring to do. Just I really just need to hook up the 12-volt wire, which is this one right. No, my fault. That's the 12-volt on AC. I need to hook up the 12-volt on the key wire, which is right here. I need to get it hooked up, and then I got the fuel pump wire running through the car because I didn't want to run it on the outside of the car. I got it running through the car and through the trunk. Again, this is the 5.3 motor with the Texas speed cam on it. We got stuff sitting on top of the motor and hoses are on the motor and stuff, but I was just going to show you like the rough draft. Let me move this right here. These are the transmission lines that we used. We used a place in Carrollton, Texas that made these lines for me. There's your top pressure line going to the transmission. Here's your bottom return line. Your bottom return line, which is this one right here, is running about over here and through the side to this cooler right here. I want to keep that transmission cool. Them 60Es, they need to stay cool. So I got it running through here. This is a nice little old setup right here. These are held on by the little clips here. Let me show you those, which you just push through the condenser, the radiator, all that, and then they tie up on the other side, and then it's the hose is going back through, and it comes out here, and then it runs down to the transmission. And I'll show you that here in a minute. I'm gonna climb up under the car, but I was just showing you the lines that we used. Like I said, again, it's a place in Carrollton that they did the lines for me. Let me show you the back of the transmission. Oh man, here it is. Here are the lines coming from the transmission. Like I said, this line here, this is the pressure line. It's a little long. There's a ground that I haven't hooked up right there, and the bottom of the O2s, the O2s are hooked up. But here they are. It's the pressure line that was made at the top and the return line at the bottom. Of course, you know there's no pressure on the return line, so we just put some high pressure clamps on there. And this is the one right here that is coming from the cooler. It's showing y'all that we had to have those lines made because different engine, different transmission, the factory lines just wouldn't work. Y'all a shot of that. I got everything hooked up. Got the speed sensor right here, it's hooked up. Where's the transmission plug? Transmission plug right here, got it hooked up. I got the other O2 sensor hooked up on the other side. Let me give y'all a look back here. This right here is the Corvette fuel filter regulator. We used high pressure hose, high pressure fuel injection hose. We used high pressure clamps on here, and this is a push lock fitting here. You got push lock fittings here and right there on both ends. Of course, this is an 89. Again, this car was already fuel injected, but it's a lot you have to do to still make it transfer over. And I believe that's about it. Got the drive shaft in hooked up. I was just kind of giving y'all an update of what I got going on. But again, this is a Corvette fuel filter regulator. Got push locks on there, high pressure fuel hose, high pressure clamps. The lines on the back of this transmission was made again from a place in Carrollton. Yeah, the place in Carrollton is called Midwest Hose and Specialties in Carrollton, Texas. That's the place we use to get these transmission lines made. They did a real good job. I pretty much explained to him what I needed, what I had going on, and he helped me out and got me the lines that I needed with the perfect angle so I could get them running to the transmission, and ran back to the front. I mean, the line is a little long, but that's my fault. I'll have to tie that up and keep that out of the way. But you know, it's better for it to be too long than too short, you know. So pretty much what we got left on this here is, like I said up there, I need to hook up all these grounds. The old ground is still on the engine, the old engine that came out of here, so I'm gonna have to make a new ground up. I'm gonna have to make up a new ground. We got a ground down here. Where is it? Let's see. Got a ground down here that comes on the harness. There it is. So we're gonna ground that one. We're gonna ground from the battery to the engine. Probably gonna go from the engine to the frame, from the harness to the frame, and like I said, we gotta get this computer put in this position. It's just sitting right here right now, hooked up. I need to hook up this 12 volt on the key. Pretty much what I do is I have the key cut on, and then I'll test these wires right here to find which one of these wires gets supplied 12 volts when you turn the key on. I don't know where this comes from. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And this one here is coming from the inside, but we'll figure that out later. But these here, when I turn the key on, it should have 12 volts on the key, and then I'll just run one of this wire here over here to this wire, and then that'll cut everything on, like the fuel pump. I got this ran through the car again. I already said that, but I got it ran through the car, down the side of the doors, hid up under the carpet. I got it ran into the trunk, and I'm gonna have it ran down to the fuel pump. I'll do that tomorrow, and I'll hook up this 12 volt on the key. Of course, you got your fans and all that. I hook that up. That's stuff that you don't need. I'm basically trying to get the car to where I can get the first crank on it, the first start up on it. And we'll probably be doing that tomorrow when I get this ground wire and I get the battery charged up. I'll probably take it to work with me and charge it up. And once I get that ground wire and run these wires right here, we're gonna go ahead and try to fire it up, and I'm gonna try to figure out a way to hold the camera while we firing it up so you can see the first start up the same way we see the first start up. But you know, again, this B&J's Custom in Dallas, Texas. Just showing y'all the 89 Caprice, the 5.3 with the Texas cam in it, 60E transmission. Like I said, I always say, dieselmechanic8@gmail.com. Get at me for any info, any work, anything you need. I have a couple people start hitting me up here as of late. I appreciate it. You know, anything you ask me, if I can help you, I'll help you. You know, we pretty much got to help each other on these. This is a fully custom job. This motor was never meant for this car. The transmission was never meant for this car. So it's pretty much it's a hard deal. But I'll update y'all later, probably tomorrow, when we get the first start up. I'm out. All right, I got a little update. This is the same night. I just wanted to show you, we got the fans mounted. That hose is in the way, but I got the fans mounted. Got some brackets right here that were, I think the customer got those brackets through Summit
Racing.
You got one here, and I pretty much just pressed it under this ridge right here on this fan. It's got a ridge on it, so my camera focus. I put it under that ridge, and once I put it under that ridge, I took a self-tapping screw and put it into the header. And let me show you the other side. I did the same thing over here.
Self-tap screw right here?
Yeah, I put a self-tapping screw right there.
And I did on the same ridge right here is the same way on the driver's side of the vehicle. And then down here at the lower bottom here, he let me get down here. Okay.
Let me get down here. And I just kind of followed the same process down here. I put a self-tapper here, and then I put it on this ridge of this radiator, and I got it in there real snug. If you check it, can't really move it at all. Here's the other side, got it bolted down. I wish this piece here wasn't on there, but I might decide to cut that off later on or leave it like that. We'll just see what the customer say. But I'm down here, I need to put this radiator hose on, but I just wanted to show you tonight I got this fans on. We got to still put the fan belt on. As I'm showing you from the bottom, I need to get up. Kind of lazy, but hold on. And these right here are the wires to the fan, and I'm gonna show y'all this over here. These are what I showed you earlier. These fan wires right here. You got fan 1, fan 2. You can wire them up however you like. Pretty much these are just a power wire to the fan, and then you'll just ground them probably together into the frame down here however you like. But yeah, just showing you, I got this update. I got the radiator in here this night. We decided to go ahead and just try it in there and see how it worked, and we'll see what the customer think about it.
Yeah, and one more update that we did do, we forgot to let everyone know in the last video that we did put oil in here. We did prime the oil pump, so that's one thing that's very important on these LS motors. You have to prime these oil pumps in here. So there's actually a plug on the side of the block. You really can't see it because it's actually behind the power steering pump. But so like I said, that was already primed already, so it's pretty much ready to start. Once we get done with a little wiring that we had to finish up, but otherwise, everything is here.
Everything is here. We got to get the belt. We actually made 40 trips back and forth to the O'Reilly's. Luckily, it's close. It's not that far away from us. We made about 40 trips back and forth to the O'Reilly's. Like I said again, this is a custom fit. This is a custom engine. Everything is different on here, so there is no factory setting for no factory setting for anything you do on these swaps.
These motors they wasn't made to be in this particular car. This particular car here, it came from the factory with a 4.3 V6, 5-liter, Oldsmobile motor, 307, 305 Chevy, or 350, which was in the police packages of these cars. So, to put an LS motor here is like a whole new animal. So, like I said, as he said, it wasn't meant to be in this car. So, as you said, it is custom. Everything is, everything has to be fabricated to make it work. So, and this is our result. Oh yeah, and then also too here, we did put a ram air here. The customer wanted a ram air style kit in here, so it'd be an actual true cold air kit. So I mean, so this would be very functional for this here. So we went with this here. Had to do a little fabrication, unfortunately, because the neck that came with this here wouldn't fit, so had to get the right size for it to fit on the throttle body. So we got that together. So I'm put the fans, put the twin filters on here, and mass airflow, and
really, where did you get that?
That came from the nearest, came from my local hardware store in town here. So
really, it looked like it come from the toilet section.
Well, I don't think they came from the toilet section there, but that's where all this stuff come from. If you want to be a little technical about that, so.
Yeah, they look like they come from the toilet section, but whatever works. Like I said again, it's a custom job. You do what it takes to get it done. If you gotta put a toilet piece on there, then you gotta put a toilet piece on there. It looks good. It's on there. Nobody would know it was a toilet piece unless I said something.
Unless we got someone who want to be technical. But if you want to be real technical with these aftermarket kits, that's what these are anyway. These would be in the plumbing section at your Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, whatever, True Value, if you had those in your town. But Yeah, that's what works is. So that's what we had to use to work this year. So
if you flip the screen, which I'm not gonna do that, but if you flip your screen, that look like it's a FERNCO. Look like the part number is 1056-43. Just look for it in your local toilet section, and you'll be able to get you one.
Okay, so but all jokes aside, but no, it's at the nearest Home Depot, so that's where they came from. So this is actually a 4 to 3 inch. So to make that work, so we had to do a 4 inch up here, and then for this here, this was actually 3 inches or 3 inches around. So that's how we made that work here.
And something else I forgot to say, we got the fuel line on here. That's a custom piece we had to put on there. We got it with custom with not custom. I'm trying to call everything custom now. We got it on there with some fuel injection hose and a high pressure clamp, and we got it routing down here running to where the original hose was at, coming from the tank. We did drop the tank. I didn't show that. We did drop the tank, and we put a
Marlboro 255 fuel pump in here. So that's a very common part for LS motors.
And it'll give it the pressure that it needs. A lot of people think that the factory pumps will work, even on 90s models vehicles. Like I got a 99 GMC. The pump is not strong enough.
Those will work.
The pump is not strong enough to work on a LS engine. I mean, unless you got an upgraded pump, a different pump. Some of them might work, but most of them do not work. It's got to be about, what, 60 pounds?
60 PSI, between 58 and 60 PSI for an LS motor to work properly. So.
Okay, so just make sure your factory GMC like mine got 60 pounds. If not, it's not going to work. So, like I said, we made about 40 trips back and forth to the hardware store. I mean, to the auto parts store. We need to put the belt on there right now. That's probably what I'm finna do here in a minute. But we need to put this belt on here, and then we need to put that coolant hose on here, and then we're gonna put some transmission fluid in it. We're gonna put some coolant in it. And like I said, right now I'm missing the ground. I think the ground. I'm pretty sure the ground I left it on the old motor. So now I'm gonna have to fab up a new ground cable. And then I'm probably just going to ground it to the motor. And then I'm going to ground the harness to the frame. And I probably already said this, but but like I said, this is just an update. We got the power steering lines on there. We ordered a factory power steering line that actually came with this car for the pressure side. And for the return side, we used, what do we use?
Actually, use the same one that came off the car.
Same one that came off the car. So if you got an 89 Caprice, you keep your hoses for your power steering because you can use them. They do work.
And they do plug up to an LS pump. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, they do plug up to an LS power steering pump, so you won't have any problems. So it's literally plug and play in that regard.
So right now, pretty much, man, we got the fuel. We got the new fuel pump, a Walboro, what'd you say?
Walboro 255.
Yeah, whatever he said. Walboro 250-55, whatever. But I got the Walboro 255, whatever he said. Then it's running. Then we got the fuel line ran up here to the engine. I already showed you the Corvette fuel filter that we got, which is only going, when you get the Corvette fuel filter, it's only going to run one line up to the engine. What's going to happen is it's going to send the rest of the, once it gets this pressure it needs, it's going to send the rest of the pressure back to the tank. We got that on there. We got the transmission lines. I already showed you that. I showed you the cooler that I got right here. I showed you how I ran those wires. What I haven't showed you is all my electrical that I ran. These are pretty much my 3 wires right here that comes off my harness, which are these 3 wires right here, which are the 12-volt battery wires. Like I told you earlier, I got the fuel pump wire running through the car. I didn't want it on the outside. I still have to find the 12-volt key. On this harness here, I just installed the fan, so probably before I leave tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and wire these fans up. But I don't need that for my first startup. This 12 volt, man, which just too many lights. It's 12 volt with the AC on. I have to find that one. That's not really a big deal, but as far as wiring, that's pretty much it. I have to wire up my we are gonna run the factory gauges. So with the factory gauges, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the factory temperature sensor. I got it tied up, so I can't really show it to you right now because it's stuck down in here. But I'm gonna run the factory temperature sensor with the one plug, and it's gonna run in the side of the engine block back here on the very back. It's a Allen key back there. You pop that out, put it in there, or have to use an adapter, whatever you have to use, and then you put your signal that goes to your gauge on there. Down here, let me see if I can get down there and show you. On the side of this block, on the side of this engine right here, this is the block off plate. Well, on this block off plate right here, we're going to be taking this block off plate off, and we're going to put a block off plate on there from ICT. ICT need to send me some free product for me repping their stuff, but ICT has a block off plate that you put on there, and it has a fitting that goes in there, and that fitting that goes in there, you can put your factory oil pressure sensor in there, and then you can run that line to your oil pressure, to your gauge in the inside. I got my voltage hooked up right here. That's pretty much it. And then down here we got the covers on the coils or the coil wire, so the headers won't burn them. I'm just pretty much trying to show you everything, but as of right now, I like to say we're about 30 minutes out from firing this thing up for its first startup. I got all the wiring done except for this one here, and I need to hook this up on the electrical plug on the fuel pump. I need to put some coolant in it. We need to put some transmission fluid in it. The oil has already been primed in the fuel pump. It's already all in the car. I just showed you a minute ago. There is a fuel filter on here.
So basically, this is the key that we use here to get these to get those plugs, the oil plug off of there, the prime, for the oil pump on here, and then we're using the same Allen key here to get that plug off the head, so we can put the temperature, engine temp sensor in there.
Oh yeah, what size is that?
That's a good question. I know what size it is.
Give me that. Yeah, it don't make no sense.
It ain't got no size on it. I just know it works.
It don't have no size on it. You see that right there? He said it don't have no size on it, but wait. Let me cut this off.
Yeah, cut that light off. Let me see, because I'm somebody blind tonight.
Sure is.
Oh, it is size on it, is it? Yeah, it is.
Size on it right there. But it ain't gonna let me see. It's 5/16. Yeah, it's 5/16. I can't let the camera ain't gonna let me show it, but it's there it is. Yeah, it's 5/16. Some people need their glasses on, but I ain't gonna say nothing about that. But like I said, we're about 30 minutes out from starting this up. Need some coolant, need some transmission fluid in it. I need to hook up this line right here. I'm gonna quit saying that. I know I've been saying that all day, but I need to hook that line up. I need to hook the fans up. Then I'll secure all of this stuff right here, and everything will be cleaned up. All this wiring off of here, the paper off here, everything before I start it up. You don't want nothing flying in anything, any bolts. And this is just a tip. I'm a mechanic. I do this every day. This is just a tip. All this stuff you got laying around here on your engine, any like this right here, any loose bolts, anything like this, especially this right here. This stuff right here will fall down off into your fan, and it'll shoot it straight through your radiator. I've done it before, trust me. But also we have to put the map sensor in here. The map sensor plug is right here. We have to put that in there and get that on there, because these LS's a lot of them won't run without the map sensor in there. I don't think that's pretty much it. I was just trying to give y'all an update on the fans, and I remembered a whole lot of other stuff that I didn't show you, but here's the fans again. These fans here was also ordered at Summit. I don't know a part number. I don't know the brand of them. I actually could find out, but not right now. And this right here is the fitting that we're gonna put on the end, but we actually still missing the mass airflow sensor. We have to we have it, we just need to put that on there. But this is the end, and this end is gonna be put over here, and that's kind of how this gonna look. It's gonna be two of them. It's gonna be one on this end and one over here on this end, and the mass airflow sensor I'm hoping should go in between there. That way all of that will be good. But there it is. Like I said, this one here also will be, we got another one that goes on this side, so you'll have two on each side pulling air in. You'll have your mass airflow sensor in here, which is telling the engine, you know, how much air it needs. But like I said, we almost ready for the first startup. I'm probably gonna wire these fans up and get out of here for the night. That's pretty much it. Again, it's B&J's Custom in Dallas, Texas. Get at me for any work. Anything you got for me, any questions, anything, we appreciate the support that we've been getting. I passed 100 subscribers. I know a lot of people probably laughing at that, but you know, for me, 100 subscribers, that's pretty good. 100, and I think I'm at about 117 right now. I could always use some more, so you know, we trying to get as many as we can. We want 100,000, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna be doing a lot of other special projects, but like I said, I'll get back to y'all with an update when I get the car started up. I'm gonna try to set up the camera to where y'all can see the whole process of us getting it started up. I don't really have a tripod, but I'll try to see if I can get a third person to record it. That way we showing y'all the first startup, just like we seeing the first startup. But again, I'll update you later on what I got. All right, it's B&J's Custom again in Dallas, Texas with another night edition. We got the 89 Caprice. We are about to start it up. Testing a couple wires, just letting y'all see. Again, it's a rough draft. We got the belt on there. Like I said again, after several trips, 40, 50 trips to the parts store trying to get the right size, we finally ended up with the right size belt. We still not 100% sure. We might need to go one smaller, but I got the ground on there. There it is. Let me move that belt, the old belt, out of the way. There's the ground right there. It's kind of long. I made it and didn't really measure it out. I just made it, but I'll route it and make it look better. But like I said, it's just a rough draft of it. I still got the same wires everywhere. What I just got done doing was right here. This is my 12 volt on the key. Can't really see it, but trying to get it in focus, but it won't do it. But right here, this is the 12 volt on the key wire right here that I told you yesterday. I got it running right here inside. I'll show you that in a minute, but once I got the ground going, oh, here it is. Yeah, once I got the ground going, here's the wire right here. I got it running into, you need to run 12 volt on the key. So what you want is, you want to be able to turn the key on and get 12 volts, and then you want to be able to start it and still get about 12 volts. And then when you shut the car off, you want that to go dead. You don't want that to power up. So when I put the ground on, the car was coming on, the dash coming on, interior working, the lights working. It was cranking off the key, but I had no power at the fuel pump. So I'm gonna show you right here. This was the blue wire I was talking about. I done ran into the fuel pump. I figured out that this pink wire and this tan wire right here actually runs to the fuel pump. Well, you got 3 wires. You got one that's a ground, one that goes to the sender, and one that goes to the power to the fuel pump. And I'll get down here and show you on the fuel pump wires. Okay, here it is right here. This is under the car. This is the fuel pump wires right here. You got a tan one, just kind of brown, but it's actually tan. You got a pink one, and then you got the black and white one, which is the ground. And actually I just followed these wires right here, and they go up into the trunk. And there they'll go right here. So what I'm gonna do is, I had this twisted in before just to test it to see if the pump would come on. I didn't get anything, but I realized I didn't have the 12 volt on the key hooked up. So I'm hoping that the 12 volt on the key is what puts the power on the car and the fuel pump. So I just wanted to shoot a quick video real quick to show you. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it on, and we're gonna test it and see if I'm getting power and see if the fuel pump is going on. And then once we put some coolant in it, we're gonna go ahead and bust it off for the first time. I already cranked it already, but I just need to make sure that we got coolant, just at least a little bit, and got enough oil and everything we need in there just to go ahead and bust it off for a couple minutes. We just want to hear it run. Then we're gonna wire everything up. I got the transmission hooked up. I'm gonna go show you that. I actually took this from another YouTuber. I think his name is Stephen Davis. I really like the work he doing over there. He took the factory shifter linkage. I'm not sure right now. I think I heard him say he cut it down, but I didn't have to cut mine down. And this is a 60E, so I took the electronic part off, which is this right here, and I just got to knock that out of there because it's not even hooked up. That's the cable on most cars. This right here is the cable that runs most of the time. It runs up into the car and down through the middle to the shifter. But this is it. I took it off, and I took this off of a 400 turbo transmission I had, and I bolted it down on there, and I put a cotter pin in it. So that's that. That's the bottom of the headers with the O2 sensor in there. But that's pretty much it right now. I got the exhaust hanging. I was just giving y'all an update. Pretty much what we're gonna do now is we're gonna let me come up here. Right now he is messing with the hose. You're gonna fill it up, and with these 3rd gen LS motors, you have to fill them in through the top radiator hose.
It's very important, because if you don't fill them in, then if you fill them in through the radiator, then what happens is the radiator has fluid, but then the engine won't cool off. So
you get a car fart.
Exactly. You get a very bad air pocket, then you overheat your engine.
There's no air pocket. It's a car fart.
Car fart? Well, that's just bad. So.
And if you're riding down the road and that car fart, you got a problem, because you're going to have trapped air in there, and it's going to think it's running hot, and it's really not.
Yeah, it's going to be cold, and the radiator going to be hot as I don't know what.
Most of the time, to tell if you got that, you're going to have the top radiator hose going to be hot, and the bottom is going to be cold. You really want both of them to be hot, but here's the ram air dressed up like I told you last night. This both sides on there. This side, he actually got it flipped. Which way you gonna put it on? The other side over there?
Actually gonna go on this side here.
Okay,
so we actually gonna put
just finna talk. Oh, I can't say that, but I was gonna say I was just finna talk noise, but can't cuss on here. But
no, we can. But
family.
We
this
can.
Is a family car channel.
We keeping it PG-13.
No, this is a family car channel. We can't do that.
Well,
my son watched this. So.
Oh well, that's rated PG then, parental guidance. So.
And so Yeah, they got the what is that? What I'm trying to say? The map sensor. They got
mass airflow sensor.
Yeah, mass airflow sensor. I call it map sensor. It's over there on the right hand side. You got the plug hanging down there somewhere. But yeah, that's gonna go on. We're gonna fill it up, and I'm finna go back here while he doing that. I'm gonna test the I'm gonna test and make sure I got power, the fuel pump kicking on, and the coil is getting powered up, and then we're gonna go ahead and bust it off. Like I said, I already cranked it once, but I didn't wanna go ahead and bust it off, but I didn't have the 12 volt hooked up. But I will keep y'all updated, and I'll set it up to where when we get ready to hit the key to crank it, I have the camera on so you can see what I see. I'll get back at you. Go again at B&J's Custom. This is just another quick update. Actually, on this one right here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fire this engine off. This is everything on there hooked up. We got the map sensor on there hooked up. We got the belt on there. We actually have the fans are not hooked up, and we don't have any cooling in it because we just gonna fire it off real quick. And again, like I said, this is a rough draft because we got all the wires. They're gonna have to be secured. This header panel right here is gonna have to be the radiator is gonna have to be pulled back out, and this header panel is gonna have to be straightened out because what happened is this car was in an accident in the front, and this header panel is not level, and it's actually rubbing up against the radiator. So I'm gonna have to pull that back out. And back here, remember I was messing with the fuel tank wires back here. I actually ended up finding that it wasn't the pink wire, so I butt connected it back together and shrink wrapped it, and now I got the tan wire just temporarily wrapped, and I already tested it, and the pump kicks on hard and loud, so you know it's on when it kick on. So it's something going on with the wiring. I have to figure that out later. But up here in the front, I got the fuel pump, the relay. I got it jumpered right here. I got it jumpered right here, and when you get ready to crank the car, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick that in there, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna kick that pump on and have that pump running. I have to figure out what's wrong with the wiring later, but I figured out that was my problem, why I wasn't getting any power to this blue wire right here to the back, to the fuel pump that I got running through the car. There's something going on right here with this box, and I have to figure that out later. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make an attempt to start it. Kick the key on. Won't start it, but kick the key on. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plug this wire in, and we should have fuel pump. Oh shit. Shit, it's leaking. And see right there, you got a fuel line leaking right here in the back. We're gonna fix this, and we're gonna update you again. That's why you do test hits. All right, here we go again. Just giving y'all an update. It was a relay change on here, and changed out one of the relays, and now the fuel pump is working like it's supposed to. I went on ahead and took the wire. I got the wire connected right here. I'm using my headlight, so my light on my camera, my battery is low. So I went on ahead and connected that one. This one here was the one that I had twisted together, and this one's gonna be to the sender. So we're gonna go ahead and bust this off, and you gonna see it the same time I'm seeing it. Starting to chop. That cam has started to hit on there. It's a little loud. We just wanted y'all to go ahead and hear it bust off. Didn't want to run it too long. It's late at night, and don't want the neighbors complaining. We're gonna have to get the exhaust hooked up on it, and then you'll be able to hear it real good. Right then, that was the startup, and normally on the startup, the idle is out up real high, and what ends up happening is as that idle control valve brings it back down, then the engine starts running at the RPMs that it's supposed to run at, which is normally about 500 to 600 depending on your vehicle. But there it was. That was the first startup. We didn't want to run it too long. We don't have any coolant in it. We just wanted to start it up and know that it was running. Since we got it running, like I said, this was just a rough draft. From here on, we'll be cleaning all of this up, cleaning up all this wiring. This radiator probably is going to have to come back out. This header panel is going to have to be straightened because it's bent from an accident that was, because you can see there's no front clip on here, so it was bent from the accident, so that's gonna have to be straightened out. And all this wiring over here is just gonna have to be cleaned up. So pretty much that's it. We're gonna have to wire up the fans, wire up the AC. We're gonna put a check engine light on the inside. I normally like to use these. You can get them. Let me get in a better light. I normally like to use these. It's just a red light. I put it on the inside. You can get this from O'Reilly's or any store. It's a LED light that just you ground it to yourself, and then you can run it off one of the wires on the harness. And whenever you got a check engine light, the LED will just come on. I like to get the LED because it's good and bright and annoying. So one of these wires right here, I'm not going to too much look for it. It's in here though.
Actually, this one right here.
This one right here, this OBD. This one right here, onboard diagnostics. You just run this one to that light, and whenever you got a problem with your engine, that'll represent your check engine light. So that's almost it. It's starting to rain out here, and right on time. We finna I'm gonna rush this video to an end, and we're gonna put the hood on, and hopefully if the weather stays straight, we'll get out here tomorrow and finish it up. But
no, we do appreciate everyone that does support us at B&J Customs out here in Dallas, Texas. Out here, we appreciate a lot of the likes, subscribes, and everything. Our friends, family, it means a lot to us. So even our customers taking our time. I know, hey, I know we take a little longer, but hey, we make sure your vehicle's right. So that's for sure.
All right, in the next video, I'll do another part to the video, and that'll be with all the wires cleaned up, the fans working, the coolant in it. We'll probably do a test run out here on down the Ferry drag strip. No racing, but we'll take it down the street and let you see what it'll do. That's pretty much it. Any questions? dieselmechanic8@gmail.com. I'm gonna hurry up and get out of here because it's finna start raining on us. And we out.